and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today you're going to get familiar with a local organization that works with our girls and young women. It's called Girls Club, and the founder is here with us today, Chekesha White. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Ms. Robin.
It is so exciting to hear about this homegrown organization and how many sites you have now and what you're doing with our young girls. And I know I'm jumping ahead because I'm excited. So I'm going to back off and let you tell me how you got started.
Okay. A classroom teacher, saw a need with the girls in my class, with their confidence, with their character. And so Lord kind of just placed it on my heart to speak life and to really change their trajectory for life and instill in them, and I say we cover the bases, talk about behavior, academics, their social skills, their emotional, and then their spiritual. So we cover the bases, the B-A-S-E-S.
Bases. Okay. Well, you know, this really gets at this. I think that sometimes people of, you know, my generation and older think that those kinds of things are covered by parents and they're covered by teachers. But you've been in the classroom. Teachers are really, have very limited time now. I mean, they've got to cover the SOLs. Everything is very structured. Their time to do those sorts of things is just, you can't really do it in the classroom time. So.
Right, yeah, definitely. And I, you know, started the club after school because I knew there wasn't time in the day because you're worried about content and instruction. You don't have time to speak about social skills and how do you get along and how do you deal with conflict and how do you deal with peer pressure and parents when they, you know, get on your nerve during the teenage years. And so, and it happens.
Yeah, of course,
it
I
happens.
remember those.
And so I just was looking for an opportunity or a chance to pour into them, which I knew I could not do in the classroom.
And I think people also, you know, speaking about us older folks, don't, you know, we might remember our own teenage years, and I think teenage years from the beginning of time have probably been tumultuous. You've got hormones, you've got change, but kids today are under a ton more pressure than I was. And they're seeing so many social changes and issues and things that, you know, I did not have to face when I was that age. And preteens, you know, it just starts so much earlier.
It does, it does. Yeah, and so in that starting of the after-school program at my school, you know, at first it just started out with myself and a few of my students. And then as the years progressed, it turned to myself and girls in the school. And then it turned into girls, myself and girls in other schools. And so to date, 2018, I needed help because it just got too big and it expanded, which is great.
It shows what the need is.
Yeah,
look at that.
It expanded, and so here we are, 2018, 13 years later, and I have about 60 mentors that assist me, and about 220 mentees, young girls, young teens that we impact in 5 locations.
Okay, so what locations are you in right now?
Norfolk. We have 2 sites in Norfolk at Ruffner and Norview Middle. We have a Newport News site at Discovery STEM. We have Hampton and White's Thomas that we talked about, and then we have a site at Phoenix, forming Phoenix K through 8.
That is great. Now, I know this because I came into this backward, but you got a mini grant from the city, from the Youth Opportunities Office last year, but it wasn't even your first. But you also do some, or have done some summer programs as well.
Yes, yes. So during the summertime, we typically take the girls on a retreat. This summer, we're actually taking them to Hershey, Pennsylvania, so they can go to Hershey Park. They're also going to go to Sight and Sound. So we also, in addition to the lessons and covering the bases, we also expose them to, we went to the White House, we've gone to the African American Museum. So I try to expose them to things that they may not get the opportunity. And a lot of them, that was their first time going to the African American Museum, and some of them the first time going to DC.
Now, you know, what does that mean to a kid who maybe doesn't get to travel, isn't you know, familiar with the history or the sites or the importance of what they're going to see? Because it isn't just, oh, they get a field trip. They're learning lots of things at a time.
And I think one thing that helps drive wherever we do is our follow-up activities afterwards. So we have conversations about, well, what did you learn? What stood out to you when you went and saw Emmett Till's casket. So just those type of conversations, I think they're lasting. They have lasting impact because they remember. You know, you may not remember things that maybe somebody said to you, but you remember things that you saw, or, you know, so I think it has a lasting impact based on their experiences and their exposure to whatever whatever trips we take them on.
Well, and you know, you as a teacher know that people learn in different ways, and sometimes you can talk at someone up to a point, and they can only absorb so much of it. But the other kinds of learning,
the hands-on application. For example, we did a lesson this past Saturday on finances, just understanding what does it mean to budget, what does it mean to save, what does it mean to needs versus wants. And so again, we try to give them skill sets that they're not going to learn in the classroom. I mean, it's unfortunate, but teachers don't have time to give them those extra things that are going to matter in life.
No, and today kids have, you know, potentially 2 working parents, or you know, a single parent who's working or working more than one job, and parents are very strapped trying to get through homework at night, much less, you know, bring out the extras. So the community, you know, it is wonderful that there are resources like Girls Club that can step in.
Yeah, I'm appreciative of, again, the mentors that I have, and I'm always looking for more mentors because we are growing. We are growing, and every girl in the organization, majority of them are matched. So they have a mentor who, and that's the purpose of Girls Club. It is a mentoring program we started with 5th through 12th grade girls. And so the girls can stay in Girls Club all the way till they graduate. And when they graduate, we give them a book scholarship if they go on a post-secondary education. So it is really about having a caring adult speak into the life of a teen child, a teen girl. So.
And to be able, and I assume certainly people change and circumstances change. Not everybody's mentor stays the whole time. But when they can, to have that stable influence who knows the child, gains the trust early, and sticks with, because by that time they're not really a child anymore. They're, you know,
and I get,
adult. Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say the mentorship just recently started about 3 years ago, so we are still trying to recruit more mentors. So
what does a mentor do? Let's talk to folks out there
definitely.
and ask them to join.
That's right.
What are the requirements? What are the expectations?
Okay, so those that might be interested in mentorship, basically you have to be 21. I would say 21. So I have some college students. I've actually have some ODU students, some Norfolk State students, and some Hampton University students. However, I do have working adults. I have some in the military. So it just depends. I have all walks of life, which I appreciate because the girls get to see these different career paths, these different, you know, young ladies, role models, doing things that they may potentially either never thought about or things that they want to do. So needless to say, you can just be 21. We have an application online at our website, www.girlsclubhr.com, so they can go get the application. Once they submit the application, we do an interview, they do a background check, and then they do an orientation. So it's a process. Now for the mentees, it's not that hard. They just fill out an application and we accept everybody. But for mentors, we do screen them.
But then how many hours is it? What do you expect of the mentors? What are they signing up for?
Gotcha. So most mentors, the expectation is, one, that they communicate with their mentees weekly. So every week there needs to be some type of, either you've called her, you went to see her, you've texted her, just to say, hey, check in, how you doing, how's school, how's life. And then we have Saturday meetings. So we meet on Saturdays. And so the expectation is that they come. Now I know things happen, they have jobs, and sometimes they may not make it, but for the most part, that they come to our meetings and our outings and just, again, spend time with their mentee. Yeah, so it is a one-year commitment also. I forgot to say that. So
you're really looking for females.
Oh, yes, definitely females to join our team. And so we welcome. So if you're interested and you're out there, please look us up. We're on Facebook as well at Girls Club, Instagram, Girls Club HR, and then, like I said, our website, www.girlsclubhr.com.
So what do our girls at this point really need? What kinds of support? Because maybe some people can't do the mentorship, aren't being able to be in your program, but we all have kids in our neighborhood. We
Sure.
all can reach out
Sure.
to kids in this age group.
When you say what do they need?
Friends, adults, support.
Oh, sure. I think they just need a listening ear. You know, when I ask the mentees, because they do get interviewed too, I ask them, why do you want to be in Girls Club? Why do you want a mentor? And they say, I just want somebody to talk to, someone who's not in my family, someone who be not non-judgmental. And so they just want a listening ear. So if there's someone out there who doesn't have the time commitment, but they know that there's a youth in their neighborhood or a youth in their community or in their church or wherever who they've seen, and they, you know, I just ask that they would take them under their wing and just spend time with them. Spend time with them, build a relationship with them, get to know them. That's important too. Getting to know who they are, their likes, their dislikes, their needs. What do they need? Do they need someone to maybe tutor them, or do they need someone just to listen to their problems because mom's not home and dad's out of the picture? Yeah, so just someone to talk to them.
So, Chekesha, how are you funded? You are a nonprofit. You're reaching a lot of kids who don't have a lot of resources. Obviously, you're not paying for the services.
Sure. So grants, I do write a lot of grants. I am looking for more funding. So if there's someone out there who would like to help support Girls Club and the things that we do, because we do a lot. We do a lot with the little. And I know it's nobody but the grace of God who makes that happen, but we do a lot for the girls. I mean, we're always taking them places and going on trips. So I'm even looking for partnerships. For example, we take a lot of trips, and so we have to either fundraise to get charter buses, or like, so if I were to partner with a school system for transportation purposes or church for vans, that would be helpful. But in terms of, you asked the question, how am I funded? By grants. We do fundraise. But that's primarily.
But in-kind is important too.
Oh yes,
yeah,
for sure,
absolutely.
definitely in-kind. Yes, yes, yes. We've gotten donations from Hampton University, from Farm Fresh. So yes, in-kind donations have helped. But the grants are probably the biggest ways that we get funded. But again, we're always looking for supporters and partners.
How big is the need? How much could you expand if you had unlimited resources and volunteers?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, well, definitely, I will say what we do and pouring back into the girls, is very needed. It's very needed in every locality. So I would love to see Girls Club as a after-school club in every location. Really, I would. And so what would that take? Great question. I mean, definitely manpower. So I definitely would need some adults in those locations who really have the same passion that, that the organization does.
Because what is the return on investment here?
Okay, the return on investment is, and I'll tell you this, it's a great testimony, but we have about 6 mentors who were in Girls Club when they were in middle school. They have went off to college, they've come back, and now they are paying it forward, and they're mentors. So the return on investment it can be huge. And so so you're already making the assumption not just that they're giving back. So this means they've gone on to college, which was probably not a given. Right.
They've gotten jobs, they have stable lives, they've made successes of themselves, and they're giving back.
Yes, that is so true.
All of those things, probably not Girls Club alone, but Girls Club contributed to them getting to that place.
Yes.
See, you assume that these things are going to happen, but I think people need to realize that impact.
That is true. You're so right. And that is one thing that we focus on in those academics. We talk about, what does it mean to write a resume? What does that look like? And that's actually one of the grants that I did receive from Youth Violence and Prevention is career readiness, getting them ready for a career. So what does it look like to dress professionally, to go on an interview? How do you introduce yourself and look a person in the eye and shake their hand? And so we do teach them life skills that will carry them. And I know that, like right now, we're about to meet with our seniors and help them write scholarships, finding money. So those things matter. And I know that us exposing them to those things that is going to change their lives forever. But so you're right. There's a lot of investment that we do that benefits them in the long run. You know,
and when it benefits them, it benefits the community.
That's right.
Because they do get jobs and pay taxes and become volunteers that give back and help others.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add before we close?
No, I just am appreciative, and I thank you for, you know, just having me on and allowing me to talk about Girls Club and all the great things that we're doing in the community. And I'm just looking forward to what's coming next in the expansion and just, again, how it's going to grow and impact even more teen girls. So thank you. Thank you, Robin, for having Girls
Thank you
Club
so much
on.
for sharing
Yes.
and for doing this for our community across the whole region.
Yeah, no problem. I do have some parting gifts for you.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I love your bright pink color.
Okay, thank you. And there's the bag over there is for you as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, and again, I just, you know, look forward to, you know, if anybody's out there and they're looking into giving back and they have the time, I encourage you to please find us on Facebook at Girls Club. Find us on the website at www.girlsclubhr.com, or you can find us on Instagram at Girls Club HR. So again, thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Having me.
And thank you for watching. I hope you understand what this important organization is doing in this community and how investing in our youth, in our girls, as well as our boys, can pay off in the long run, not just for the individuals who get helped, but it is a payback for the entire community. Thanks for watching.